If you were scrolling through social media, you'd probably stop at a picture of Avinash and Chandrika. They looked like they had it all figured out. A booming business, this passionate, picture-perfect love story, and even an adorable 6-year-old son. It really did look like the perfect life. And their Instagram? Wow. It was just this endless highlight reel of a life most of us can only dream about. You're talking exotic trips, luxury cars, huge, extravagant parties. It was a performance, and it was designed for one thing: to make you believe they were on top of the world. But it wasn't just about the money. Or at least, that's what they wanted you to think. They built this image of being incredibly influential, casually dropping hints about their powerful political connections. They wanted everyone to see them as this untouchable power couple. And the centerpiece of this whole fantasy? Their perfect family. Even after years of marriage, they acted like newlyweds. Every anniversary, every birthday was this over-the-top celebration of their love. Them and their son, they were the very definition of domestic bliss. Okay, so let's get into it, because what if I told you that behind all those perfect smiles, all that luxury and those loving embraces, was a monstrous reality? A reality so twisted it would launch a police hunt across multiple states and completely shatter countless lives. So the big question is, who were Avinash and Chandrika really? To get to the bottom of their massive deception, we've got to go all the way back to the beginning and see exactly how this criminal partnership was formed. You see, Avinash started out pretty normal. He was a mechanical engineer, had a decent little construction supply business going, but then a divorce kind of sent his life in a new direction. That's when he met Chandrika, who was a sales exec, and bam, the connection was instant. They got married, and suddenly his ambition just exploded. He started launching all these companies, one after another, with Chandrika right there by his side. But here's the problem. While the businesses were actually failing, their expensive tastes, they just kept growing. They had this image to protect, you see, and that's exactly when the lies started. To keep funding this elaborate fantasy life, their real jobs just weren't cutting it anymore. So they turned to crime. It started small, a few little deceptions here and there, but it quickly spiraled into this massive, complicated web of fraud and pure manipulation. And this slide, wow, it just lays it all out, doesn't it? On one side, you have the persona they sold to the world, the successful CEO, the cool music producer, the couple that knew all the right people. But the reality, it was a universe away. A failed businessman, a serial con artist, and a pair of cold, calculating predators. They built this whole criminal empire piece by piece. First, Avinash faked a hit music video just to seem legit. Then they set up this phony finance company, promising people these incredible returns. They scammed literally everyone they could, from regular folks to even a police officer. And if anyone dared to ask for their money back, they got death threats. You'd think a little time in jail would slow them down, right? Nope, it just connected them with even more powerful criminals. With all that under their belt, their confidence was soaring, so they moved on from just fraud to something way, way darker. This was their masterpiece, a meticulously planned matrimonial honey trap. And get this, Chandrika was the mastermind. The plan was just as cruel as it was brilliant. With his wife's help, Avinash cooked up a fake profile on a big matrimonial site. Suddenly, he wasn't a failed contractor anymore. No, he was a rich, divorced, steel tycoon with a young son, just looking for a loving partner to complete his family. It was the perfect story, a story designed to prey on a very specific kind of vulnerability. And here it is, their predatory playbook broken down. It was a 5-step process, and it's just chilling. Step 1. Create that perfect, irresistible profile. Step 2, target vulnerable women, divorced, widowed, women who were just hoping for a second chance. Step 3, shower them with love and promises of marriage. Step 4, once he had their complete trust, he'd invent some business crisis to drain them of every penny. And finally, the most sickening step of all, drug them, assault them, and film the whole thing to use as blackmail, making absolutely sure they'd never talk. This was never just a financial crime. It was a deep, profound violation of trust that left scars you can't see. But out of all the victims, one woman found the strength to fight back. And her story really exposes the true, devastating human cost of their actions. She was a 34-year-old bank clerk from Bhopal, already trying to heal from a broken marriage. Avinash's story was just perfectly tailored for her. A successful man who cared about family, looking for someone to love his son and his mother. I mean, just listen to her words. It felt like a story written for a wounded heart. She fell for it completely, believing she'd finally found her fresh start. So, believing she was investing in their future together, she gave him everything. She emptied her life savings, she took out loans, she even handed over her jewelry. All in all, she gave him 40 lakhs rupees. That's over 50,000 US dollars. But it wasn't just money. It was her trust, her dreams, and her entire future. But the ultimate soul-crushing betrayal happened when Avinash invited her to his home. She met this sweet, elderly woman who he said was his mother. Except it wasn't. It was Chandrika, his wife, in a disguise. Later that day, Avinash drugged the victim's drink, and while he assaulted the unconscious woman, his wife, Chandrika, filmed the entire horrific attack. When the victim later asked about their wedding plans, they sent her the video and threatened to ruin her life if she ever spoke a word. This story is absolutely horrifying, but it's also a serious warning. Understanding how predators like this actually operate is the first crucial step in learning how to spot the signs and protect ourselves and the people we care about. And you might be wondering, was this a one-time thing? A single awful crime? Not even close. When the police finally caught up to them, they uncovered the staggering pattern. The couple already had 8 criminal cases for cheating, fraud, and cybercrime against them, spanning across 3 different states. These were career criminals hiding in plain sight. You know what Avinash and Chandrika did actually has a name in criminal psychology. It's called targeted vulnerability. And it's exactly what it sounds like. They didn't just pick victims at random. No, they specifically looked for a person's emotional weak spots. Loneliness, a recent divorce, the hope for a family. And they use those very things as a weapon to manipulate and control them. So what are the red flags? How do you spot this? Well, you can see the key ones right here, and they map perfectly to this case. First, love bombing. That whirlwind romance and all those promises of a perfect family from Avinash, classic sign. Then came the financial grooming. Notice how the talk of their shared future suddenly turned into him needing money, and whenever a predator enforces secrecy or gets angry when you just ask a few questions, insisting that trust means you can't question them, that's not about respect, that is about control. After being completely broken down by fear and depression, that victim from Bhopal, she found the courage to speak up. Her incredible bravery is what brought this entire evil scheme crashing down, and it probably saved countless other women from the same fate. Her story leaves us with this one powerful reminder. If something feels wrong, don't ever let shame or fear keep you quiet. Your true strength and your safety, it's not in your silence, it's in your voice.